Back where I come from, where I'll be when it's said and done. I'm proud as anyone, 'cause that's where I come from. Yep, just need about a half a gallon of gas and this fire will be ready to go. Boy, it is a beautiful day. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Well, I bet you're wondering why Cornbread's got his bibs on, got his greasy hat, got my wore out hey dudes. Well, I'm getting ready to show you. Be patient, okay? No, I finally picked up something that I've been wanting for a while. They're a little bit too expensive for me, but you can pick up a used one, pretty cheap, I guess. And the one I picked up, boy, did I pick a doozy. Because I didn't really realize, all the problems that it had was not made by the tractor itself, but they were man-made. And that just makes my job a whole lot worse. Why do I get myself into these messes? Well, I guess it's time to quit yapping and just get to it. Now hold on, Cornbread. Are you going to tell them about the special prizes that they would win if they just stick around and watch the video? There ain't no special prizes. What are you talking about? Well, I know that. Maybe I thought that, this would, keep them around, stick them around a little bit longer, actually make them hit the subscribe button. Yeah, that was a good idea. But, I mean, you're lying. And what kind of message is that going to send to the people? Well, yeah, you're right. I wasn't really thinking about that. I'm sorry. It's all right. I forgive you. The Bible says to forgive 7 times 70, so that ain't nothing on me, so don't even worry about it. Jesus forgave my sins, so how good am I, to hold on to something that wasn't even that big? Can't be prideful, gotta be humble. Well, I appreciate that, Cornbread, but what are we going to do to these people to tell them to stick around and watch a little bit more? Well, I tell you what we can do. They already know I'm pretty funny, and if they don't, well, this is their sign right here. But we can tell them to hit that subscribe button, smash that bell, like this video, or just get it out there however you can, so that way people can see more of this Cornbread content. I know I'm not a prize, but hey, I'm a little funny to watch, and I don't know what I'm doing half the time, and we just figure out all this stuff and learn this stuff on our journey together, and maybe they might help me and I might help them in some way, shape, or fashion. I don't know how, but it might just happen. You know what? That's a doggone good idea. I'm glad you said that. So will you do that for me? Please? For free? Welcome to the channel. Now, I think what we got here is in need of an introduction, so I'm going to take care of that right quick. So, if the hat don't give it away, without further ado, here it is. She thinks my tractor sexy. It really turns her on. Yee! I'm just way too fat for all that. No, but this, guys, is a 1962 Massey-Ferguson 35 Super Deluxe. It's got the 3-cylinder Perkins Diesel in it. It's got the high-low transmission, 3-speed, so ultimately that makes it a 6-speed. I mean, if you count reverse, I guess 8. It's got the PTO right here. It's got the seat that's been welded up with all kinds of pieces of angle iron because the seat's pretty much gone. It's got 4,416 hours, I'm guessing. I don't know. Maybe it's done clocked over. But no, at the first of the year, which is how long this thing has been sitting here, I decided I wanted the tractor, or I decided to get one. I've been wanting one for a while. And I could have got an 8N for the price I got of this one, but this one kind of holds, some sentimental value to it, even though that I've never seen this tractor, nor owned it, nor ever had it in my life before. But I guess it's the type of tractor, I would say, that really holds sentimental value. This type of tractor was basically the same one that I used to use out in the hayfield, kicking and raking hay with my dad. It was a little bit newer. It was like a 64 Ferguson, I think, maybe a 65. It had power steering. I don't think this one has it, but the power steering on that one never worked. When you put fluid in it, it always leaked it out. So I literally had to manhandle that thing. So it ain't going to be no different than me using this one. These 3-cylinder Perkins motors, man, they are tough. And on that other tractor, it had ball tires, and I mean, that thing would just climb the hills. Use the brakes and you was going downhill, that thing would slide down the hill faster than a bar of soap would slip out of your hand in the bathtub. And it wasn't a good feeling. So all you really had to do was just gear it down and just hope for the best that the tractor ain't going to slide with you. But it never did. Now, I don't know much about tractors, but I know everything on this tractor is mechanical, including the fuel pump, the injection pump. If I know I can get juice to the starter, which I already do have, and I'll show you that here in a minute, and if I have enough compression and there's fuel squirting in, the cylinders, I know I can get this thing to run. But the one thing that I didn't know about this tractor is that it was a parts tractor. I bought this tractor for $1,200, which was too much, I guess, without me looking at everything. The only thing that I seen is it was almost the same model, and I guess I was excited. And I forgot to look at one crucial detail of the fuel delivery system. Let me show you guys that. It's the fact that the lines from the fuel filters are cut, and the lines running to the injectors from the injection pump are cut too, because somebody tried to take this injection pump off, didn't know what they was doing. And you see how none of the bolts there looked like they had been messed with, just got a bunch of dirt and dust on them. Well, you have to take this off, and there's something, I don't know what, that you have to do in there in order to take this injection pump off. And they just failed at it, so I guess they just stopped doing what they was doing. I have tried looking everywhere for these lines. They make the ones for the model after this, which was the Massey-Ferguson 135, looked a little bit different. They're almost the same, except the head's a little bit different, where the injectors go down in, and that makes finding lines for this tractor difficult. So we're going to do the best thing that we know to do, which is just take some compression fittings and see if we can't try to get those lines working again. But first, I want to show y'all another thing that's snagging us up. So if you couldn't tell by the nuts that I had put in the injection pump that somebody had lost, I've already been working on this thing, and I didn't quite know where the body ground was. I seen a bolt over here that was just sticking out, didn't have a nut in it. So I put a ground there and put the positive to the starter, and I got juice, but this is the problem. All right, you ready? Here we go. You see that? Locked up tighter than a wedge in a door. Now, I knew when I got this thing, it was like buying a crapshoot. But when I first turned over the starter, I should have just kept on going because it was spinning. So I'm guessing there's some kind of place, because this tractor's been sitting long enough, in the cylinder walls that's got rust or some kind of junk. It's stuff that's in there that's just not allowing this thing to turn. Now, normally, what you would do is just go over here to the crankshaft pulley, put a socket on the bolt right there, and just turn it. But the thing is it don't have a socket. It just has a slit. So I tried a pipe wrench. I tried a crowbar with the crow in this way and tried turning that thing, and it just was not going. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this sucker in high gear, And whenever I put it in high gear, I'll probably put it in like third and have somebody pull me and just hope for the best that this thing unlocks. I'm going to show you what we got going on in the air filtrate system. Come on. Come on. There we go. Shoo! Dang, crusty. What in the world? Oh. Yeah. It's pretty stopped up in there. Full of dust and hay and all kinds of junk that we need to get out. Another thing, if you didn't notice, his wheel was bent. I got a new wheel, and I got a new tire, and I got a new tire for the other side, so might end up jacking it up and see if we just can't go ahead and get those two tires replaced and go ahead and get them put on. The only thing that sucks is I don't want to go ahead and put them on because I might have the opportunity to sell it later if I don't go ahead and put it on the tractor, which I guess it really doesn't matter because if I have to scrap the tractor anyway, then I'll be taking this off, and I know I can get some money out of these rear wheels and tires. They don't look the best, but they're holding air and somebody will buy them, especially the wheels. I don't think y'all can see in there, but there's a bunch of hay just sitting in that intake down there that we're going to have to get out. Probably end up taking this screw out and popping this out and cleaning it all out. Here's another indicator that there's a parts tractor. There's clipped wires and lights were gone, and this is just all stuff that I guess I didn't see. I just overlooked. Let's look down inside the fuel tank here. Okay. It don't look too bad, I don't guess. And I'm pretty sure the radiator is bone dry because there's a hose off over there. Hello! Hello! Well, let's go ahead and get this hose off this intake and clean it out. Just to give us, something to do to make us feel satisfied about getting something done. Is it even turning? What's the deal here? Dang, that thing don't even feel like it's on. Oh, okay, I see what it is. I done unscrewed it enough. I'm just going to have to break this thing free. Come on. Oh, lordy. Whew. Okay. Oh, yeah. All that hay could have sucked up in the combustion chamber. There's a pile of it right here, which I know a lot of these old tractors would probably chew his stuff up and spit it out, but I don't want to take a chance. Since that's cleaned out, we can go on to the more important thing, which is getting this thing unlocked, because if we can do that, and then we can splice those fuel lines over there, if I can get them off, see if we can't get this thing running by putting a little bit of diesel fuel in it. This filter cleaned off. I really need a air compressor. This thing almost looks like it's got turbines, like it's a turbo or something. Man, is this an early model of a turbo system? That is good enough. So let's figure out a plan here. First plan, get out of here, you devil. Get out of here, you devil. This ain't your home. You don't claim it. Get out here. That's what I thought. Stupid wasp. No, but we need to figure out a game plan. So I figured what we'll do first is try to get the darn thing unlocked. Because if we can't get it unlocked, ain't no use in throwing all this work at it. Then once we get it unlocked, then we'll see if we can't fix them fuel lines over there. Because if we can't do that, then I don't know what we're going to do, even if we do get the thing unlocked. And then maybe if we can, I say, get out of here, you devil. Go on. Stupid bees. And then if we can get this thing to have fuel running through it and getting it to fire, then maybe I can take that new wheel and tire, put it on this side, and take the new tire and get it put on from that side, and see if this thing will start up and run, drive down the road, and just see how this old 3-cylinder diesel's gonna run. So my oil cap, which is not, another good sign, is pretty much a Walmart trash bag. That should have been the first worst and bad sign that I should have looked at. Just really wasn't smart, looking at this thing. My defense, it was somebody else's property in the field I didn't know, and I just went and looked at it, and I didn't know if there was any cows that was going to run me down in the field, or if somebody was just going to come out on the porch with a shotgun and try to shoot me because they thought I might have been stealing something. But we are going to have to change the oil. It has a tiny bit on the end of the dipstick. Smells like oil. I mean, if I wipe this thing off right here and, stick it back down in there and then pull it back out, this is how much we got right here. Barely any. And it's real thick and gummed up, so it does need an oil change. So if we can get this thing unlocked, then maybe what I might do while I'm going out and getting the tires and the wheels done, I can pick up some oil and a filter and get that changed too. But I need to quit running my yapper, because I ain't gonna get anything done if I just keep on talking to y'all. Daylight's burning, and there ain't a lot of tractor places in town. Probably one of them, and I'll probably have to go and get the filter from there. Not unless I run to Tractor Supply, and they just ain't got anything but a bunch of random crap. See if I can't get on the old phone and find somebody that'll come help me. Got some reinforcements to help me. All right, stop. Well, this is what we got. No luck. I tried even hitting the starter. She's gonna go up there and turn around. We'll see if we can't get more speed and try to unlock this thing. Houses. You can see that little roof over there past these, in between these two houses, is over there. So this is how far we made it, and it didn't do nothing yet. Well, I can't believe it, but we got it unstuck. All I had to do was throw it in reverse for it to go back the other way, and then I hit the starter, and it's turning over now. Oh, I'm so thankful. Well, this tractor officially went from "I'm locked up, they won't let me out, they won't let me out," to "and I'm free, free falling." Let me show you what I got here. Get this thing out of gear. That's one thing you always want to make sure. Ready? Hitting like a sewing machine now. That thing went turn, yon, 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 yon. It's even squirt a little bit of diesel fuel out of this line right here. Well, I tell you what we should do now that it's turning over, before we even fix them fuel lines, is we should go get some ether or some brake clean or something, just to see if this thing will at least fire over. What do you think? Let me see if I got something like that. Even some PB blaster in them cylinders would bark off, I would think. Let's go see what I got. I mixed up a concoction. I don't even know if this stuff will work. If it does, I'll tell you what it is, and then you can tell me if it's harmful, this thing. But we're just going to spray it in there. I do know that what's in here is made out of, 100% oil. It might not be the oil that you're supposed to put in these things, but we're going to try it. I'm just going to do one squirt for now. It's out of gear. I think it's out of gear. Let's hope it's out of gear. Let's try it again. This thing, I'm pretty sure, is supposed to have glow plugs on it. Let's hit that for a minute and see if that thing actually works. Then hit it. Okay. Sounds like it's doing something. Yeah, I had a little bit of smoke coming out, so maybe I need to hit the glow plugs one more time. Glow plugs on this one, you turn the switch back and then you turn it forward to crank it. It don't do it in the on position or whatever position that is. Okay. Maybe this stuff just ain't got enough juice in it to crank that thing. I give it about 10 squirts now. See what it'll do. Okay, I am not wanting to burn up that starter, and I can smell that that thing is getting hot. So I'm just going to leave that be, and I might get some carb cleaner or maybe something that's not as hard as brake clean. I really hate using brake clean, especially on diesels or ether, because it's just real rough on them, but it does get them to pop off. I might have a can of brake clean in my Ford back there. I'm gonna go back there and see if I can't get that can of brake clean and just spray a little bit in there just so we can hear this thing bark off. I seen some smoke coming out of there, but this junk right here, it ain't no good, so we just get rid of that. So I had a full can of non-chlorinated brake clean. So here goes nothing. You know what I mean? Just that much. I just want to see if it's going to bark off. A little bit more. Okay. Squirt! It's really bad for it. I ain't gonna do nothing. Alright. I'm getting ready to drain that battery. And I do not need to do that because I don't even have my charging system hooked up just yet. So I might have to hook this thing jumper cables. If not, I know I'm gonna have to charge it back. Let's let that thing warm up for a minute. We'll try it one more time. Okay, let's see what we got now. Come on. Nothing. So change of plans. We're going to go get the oil so we can change the oil in this thing. Get a new filter. I'm not worried about changing the fuel filters that's on it right now, because if I can get oil, or not oil, gas, or not gas, diesel, dang, which it looks like there's a little bit of fuel, whatever was left in there, it's trying to come out of the lines, and there's all kinds of diesel fuel spurting out of the return line up here. So if I can get all that done, get those lines on. I know these fuel lines are good. It's just these that come from the, which honestly, I could take a piece of rubber right here and just clamp those two together, and it'll give fuel to feed into it. But then I got to take this return line off and cut it right here and then stick a piece out right here. And that's not the big issue. The big issue is all three of these injector lines being the way that they are. But you know, I've seen people use compression fittings on gas vehicles. I've seen people use compression fittings on brakes. And if it can hold up to the thousands of PSI that brakes can, you know, put on, I guess, a fitting, then I think I won't have any problem using it on here. If there was a way that I could find these lines, and I'm sure I could call Ferguson and they could get these lines for me, but the problem is I don't know if this is the model before the one that had the extra 4 or 5 horsepower. I know it's got the vertical injectors. I don't know how many years they made them with vertical injectors, but I do know that they got rid of it when they changed over to the 135. So it's just one big thing of brouhaha. So I'm thinking that all these pistons and everything, you know, the rings is probably froze up. Probably need to get, you know, unstuck, and whatever I sprayed in there is just going to free them up, at least up top. So I'm going to go get the oil to change this thing, get the filter. I already got the compression fitting for the lines if I got the right size, and I think it's a quarter inch. I got a 5/16 that line down there in the garage. I can use the water here at the house, and I just need some diesel fuel. So if I just get all those things and come back, I think I'll be good. Oh, and another thing, get these wheels and tires, you know, changed while I'm out. So I guess I'm going to work on that. Well, guys, we're back. And it is not that evening, but it is the next day. Had some things I had to do yesterday, and just didn't quite have enough time to get everything done that I needed to get done. So whenever I got back from town, it took me a little bit longer than what was expected. So as you can see, I got new tread on these tires. I went with the Carlisle. It was just a little bit more expensive than, you know, the cheaper brand. So I was like, shoot, why not? I also picked up an oil filter, and this thing's got the, you know, the canister type filter. It ain't got the regular filter that you just screw in and out. Some of these tractors come with an adapter kit that you can put on them to where you can get that screw in and out filter, but I got this one, and so this is going to work. If I change the oil in this thing, it'll probably be a while before I change it again anyway. So I got some Rotel of 1540. I think that'll be just fine. And I got this large adjustable oil filter wrench. I've used these before, and I've been wanting to get one for a while, and they're not that expensive. Just, you know, my mind forgets things when I go to the store. So I seen it yesterday. I was like, you know what? I need that. So I picked one up. And by the way, I was looking back over the footage, and what I didn't realize is I had more smoke coming out of the tailpipe than what I thought. Apparently, it ain't coming out where it's supposed to exit, but it was coming out down there. So I must have a hole in the muffler, or something ain't seated up right, or something going on. It must have been, at least trying. This motor must have some kind of decent compression to it, which is a good thing. Plans for today, if I have enough time, I got something that I got to go to this evening. We're going to put these wheels and tires on. Once I get these wheels and tires put on, then we'll go ahead and change the oil. And after I get the oil change, we're going to go ahead and shoot our shot at trying to get this thing cranked over again and see if we can't get it to bark off more than what it was the other day. I feel like what oil-based substances that I sprayed in there, now the brake clean, it might have ate it all off, I don't know. But what I did spray in there, maybe it loosened up those rings a little bit if they was, compressed or stuck. And maybe we can get this thing to bark over today. And if we can get it to bark over, then we can go ahead and fix them fuel lines, get all that changed, and we can see if this thing will finally run. The trick for getting these things put on is get you a chair and just set it right here where the wheel and tire goes on. Sit down and take your toes and just work that wheel up all the way up to where the studs is. Makes it a whole lot easier than trying to bend over and take out your back and shove that wheel and tire on there, and then it falls off and you get mad and want to throw it in the woods, and you just wore out by that time and you just lay down because you're defeated, and then you get back up and try it again and have to fight with it all over again and spend 30 minutes just trying to put a wheel and tire on. But by all means, make sure that you stay safe and you're not doing it the way that I'm doing it, because it can get kind of sketchy. See, a jack has wheels because it's made to roll with whatever vehicle you're picking up. But when you're jacking something up off the ground and the jack sinks down in and it's just really shaky and wants to fall over, I didn't put these jack stands underneath her until I got home that evening. So that tells you anything. So take my advice and don't do as I do, but do as I say. I've been working on this tractor since yesterday and the day before. I've been working on this tractor. I don't know what else to say. Hey, hopefully we can get it running and driving. I forget. That's it. That's the rest of the song. That's all I got. There we go. It's on its own weight now. And man, does it look good. Fresh whole rubber on out now time, that wheel right there. Ain't nothing cleaner than a new tire on something, even if it is 60 years old with a lot of rust. Just might have to take this tractor cruising down the town in my 6.2, blowing the smoke, and oil's all over the road. Went to the store to get something to eat. Click, click. Good enough. Okay, right here. Looks like it's been chewed off about 30 times. We'll see if we can't get something on there and change this oil. Oh yeah, I feel like that's what it is. It's just so chewed up. You'll have to take a hammer and try to beat that thing on there. We'll try out Junior first before we go get Bubba. Okay, let's see what we can do there. There we go. Okay. Oh, catch pan. Almost forgot a catch pan. Hold on. Don't want to be crawling around in oil. What we got over here? Old barbecues, rim. Oh, I see something. Well, that might not hold all of it. What am I going to do? I'm going to have to be quick about it. All right. Here we go. Oh, wow. You know, you would not believe it. But there is nothing literally in here. Well, that's not any good. Either that or this gummy gooey stuff that's in my hands. Ooh. That ain't good. I think it's safe to say that we're just gonna change this filter and just put the oil in it. Good thing is there's no water in it, but look at this. It's like grease. I mean, that stuff's been in there a while. Look at that mess. Gosh dang. Y'all see that right there? It's like redneck Play-Doh. Good old Rotella T4 1540. Good for pretty much anything. And thick enough, you ain't got to worry about the burns coming out in you. Oh, wait, hold on. Dadgummit. First for everything. Whew! Liquid gold running on the ground. Can't do that. Get on there. Whew. Boy, that was about a mishap if I ever had one. About lost all my gold there. I probably spilled just as much without using the funnel. Yep, look, it's already starting to come out. That's pretty much done. Let's see if we're showing anything on the dipstick. Yeah, it's already showing. But we know, and you know, and everybody else knows that you check oil when something's sitting level. And we're not sitting too level. So I'm just going to go 6 quarts. If it's a little over, that ain't going to hurt it. There we go. 6 quarts. I hadn't charged the battery, so hopefully it ain't dead, but we'll see. Good healthy amount. Out of gear. Oh, let's try her. Come on. Come on. Might need a little bit more of a faster spin. Might have to get one of the vehicles over here and hook a jumper cables to it. I don't know. We'll see though. Come on. Yeah, I believe that's what I'm going to have to do because that battery is getting dead. Dadgummit. I was hoping not having to do that, but I guess I'm gonna have to. Got the jumper cables hooked up. The wife's van. I got a 3-in-1 oil bottle full of nothing but kerosene because it's what I had. And I think it'll light this thing off if I squirt enough in there. And I got the brake clean to help. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a good heavy dosing, this kerosene. And then I'm going to give it the brake clean. Then I'm going to fire it and just see if it'll bark off. I just want it to go cha-cha-cha. And if it'll do that, I'll be happy with it enough to where I can do some work on those fuel lines. Good heavy dose of that. A little squirt, squirt. All right. See what we got now. Okay. Hit them glow plugs for a minute. I have a feeling it's going to take off. It felt like it was getting a little bit lighter right there. So, one more time. Come on. 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 Okay. Give it a minute. Warm up again. I feel like it's really going to go. If it'll just go. Squirt, 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 squirt. Now I'll get a pile of it in there. Okay. See what she does now. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Lord, please let it start. I'm going to give it about 10-15 minutes to charge up on that battery. All right. Come on. I know you can do it. I know you want to. I'm running out of go-go juice. Please. Come on. I'm getting to thinking that maybe what I need to do is go ahead and get them fuel lines all worked up and go ahead and get fuel through the system and in the injection pump. And then maybe, just maybe, if I have fuel going through it to the injection pump, and if I have fuel going through it through the intake, then maybe it'll just fire. But, I figured it would fire over this way, having fuel and everything, but maybe it just needs the constant flow of fuel. Maybe that's just how diesels work. But I figured the brake clean would just start it right off. But maybe it ain't got enough potency to get this thing flowing. Or maybe it just needs fuel mixed with it in order to just boost the octane of the fuel to get it to fire over. Because I honestly don't know if the glow plugs work. Even if this thing has glow plugs, it might be like a grid heater or something. I don't know. And another thing is, I don't even know if the injection pump works. Because I don't know if this is the reason why this tractor was parked. Is because of the injection pump. If it is, I'm talking about some money. But at least we'll know what the problem is, because I can sit here and put my hand over the intake and it's got plenty of compression. So I don't think any valves are stuck open or anything like that. I mean, it's blowing out smoke every once in a while, so I know the cylinders are hitting. Let's try it again. Oh yeah. That thing's getting hot. So we're going to give that thing a break and let it just kick there for a minute and charge up. And then, in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and start getting them lines off to that injection pump and go ahead and start fixing and working on those. And we're back. And if you couldn't tell, we're in a different location. That's because it's like 2 or 3 weeks later. I just couldn't get these compression fittings to work. I went to the store, brought them back, tried to make them work. They leaked. It just didn't work. So if you ever try to do this on your injection lines, don't do it, because it don't work. It was a stupid attempt to try to fix something in a halfway, trying to work kind of way. I knew it was a long, stretch of trying to make it work, but it just didn't. And I tried my best to look it up online for these exact lines, and you can't find them anywhere. You can find them for the tractor after the model that I have, which they didn't make my model, I don't think, but from 60 to 65. After 65, they changed it from the 35 to the 135. Had the same motor, I think the same injection pump, pretty much the same tractor, except it changed a little bit. And one of the things that changed, because apparently the 60 to the 65 was so hard at starting, that they went from indirect injection to direct injection, and that made the head different, the injectors that sit in the head different, and the lines different, and they go in at an angle. So I couldn't buy the lines from a later model tractor. I have to find them from a 60 to a 65, and apparently that's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. So what I'm going to do today is probably going to be my last attempt to try to fix these lines that's already here. Now, as you can tell, I couldn't use brake line. Not on these whole things, because the ends are different. They ain't flared out the same way. They're made this way so that way they could cup against the ejector and cup against the injection pump, so that way there wouldn't be no air coming in, wouldn't be no leaking. Well, they have a small hole that runs all the way through this injection line to give it that, I guess, high compression volume. I don't know. It's supposed to make sure that the fluid has a lot of pressure pushing it to the injectors. It's an old tractor, so I figured if we get fluid to it, that's all that matters. So my idea is, and it's just a theory, that the little section that was cut out, I'm going to take about this much of a section of brake line, steel brake line. I'm going to replace the section that's missing. And it won't be as high as pressure in that little section. It'll basically just have to fill it up with fluid before it's able to get to this part. But if I can get it to that part and then run that to the injector, then In theory, it'll have high pressure through this line, lose it a little bit until it fills this up, and then high pressure once it fills this up all the way to this line, so we won't be losing all that pressure it needs in order to, run this tractor. So this is my last attempt. I really didn't think about doing this, but I went and seen an old man. He had real bad infection in his legs, but he was a good man, and he told me he was going to give me several parts places, and he said there's one good one out in Minnesota. If none of this works and all else fails, maybe we can try that. But I went by there, and I kind of seen the need, and I think the good Lord led me there for a reason to pray for him. So I did that, and on the way home, I actually seen a video about this because, I mean, it is, metal, it is steel, so why couldn't you weld it? And so I seen a video of somebody welding some fuel lines, I think it is, on a bulldozer, on a tractor, and it's basically the same line, looked about like it, and they welded it. The only difference is I got to add in a section. So if it don't mess with it too much, I think this might work. And as long as I can get fuel through it, I was getting fuel through the lines, but it just wasn't pushing it enough to get it up top because it was leaking so much at the compression fittings. So I got fuel all through the rest of the lines. I'm just waiting to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically use this compression fitting as a way to measure how much I need to cut the brake line. And I'm actually going to go a little bit over, so that way I can have a little bit of overhang, so that way I'm not welding this hole shut. And mark a line on each spot where I need to weld it, because with it already fit up on the tractor, this is how it needs to go. This is how this line goes. Same way with this line, this is how this goes. Well, that's enough talking. It's time to get to work. I believe what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and get this all done, show you what I got at the end, and then we'll head back up to the tractor and put them on, and I guess, see if it leaks and see if it's going to do all right. So we're back. I've got my 3 fuel injection lines ready to go. I just took some of this dark metallic paint. It'll probably burn it off, and I just grinded them welds down a little bit and make sure there wasn't no holes, and then just sprayed it with them. Now, I know the problem that I'm facing is the way diesel engines work, from what I can make up in my mind, is instead of like regular timing like you have on, say, like a car with spark and fuel, and the rotor button has to be at that one cylinder at the right time in order for it to get fire, or it'll run like crap. Well, essentially, the injection pump is what does all the timing for the diesel motor, and it basically squirts out the fuel at the right time whenever the piston hits up at top dead center or whatever. Well, I don't think I took any bends out of this. It was pretty much just, straightforward. What I did take out was just a little bit of straight tubing. So the timing might be off just a tiny bit on these lines, but I'm really thinking as long as the injection pump's good and they wasn't taking it off for any reason, which that's what I'm going for. I mean, it was squirting out fuel through the compression fittings and through the lines somewhat. So I'm just banking on the injection pump is still good. It was just a parts tractor from all the evidence that I could come up with and see. So as long as this doesn't mess with, the timing of it too much, I really think this is going to work, and I really think this is going to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go up and put these lines on the tractor. I'm going to run to the gas station, get some more diesel fuel, pick me up a drink, whatever, take a little break because I've been at it pretty hard this morning. And when we get back, I'm going to dump that fuel in. I'm going to hook up jumper cables to the battery so that way I know that tractor's going to turn hard. We'll buy some starting fluid, and we're going to see if we can't get this thing to run. And if we can get it to run, then I will jack that sucker up, inflate that tire best way I can. It was hard last time, and I didn't think that it was going to go back down, but it did. And after that, if it runs, we'll see if we can't drive it. Praying and hoping that this works. Won't you say a little prayer for me? If it don't run, pray for my feelings. But if it does run, say hallelujah at the end. That'll work for me. All right, let's get to it. I'm glad to say that I think this is going to work. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove this jumper cable, put my battery cable on, then put it back on there, and go ahead and put this one back on too. And I got it hooked up to this truck so that way I know we have enough starting power. Now, I went ahead because I was a little anxious to see what it was going to do, and I put the lines on the bottom of the injection pump, and as you know that you have to bleed out the lines. So in order to do that, I just cranked it over, and I got a good spray pattern out of those lines up top. So I'm excited about this. We'll go ahead and hit it one more time and make sure that it's still doing it. Oh yeah, all three of them's doing good. Now all I have to do is tighten up the lines, and as soon as I get the lines tightened up, hopefully none of them leak. Now I'm not just worried about them leaking right here, I'm worried about them leaking at the fittings too, making sure they get a good seal and a good connection. If I can get them tight enough, I think I'll be fine. I don't know. We're just going to have to see. And after we get those tightened up, we're going to go ahead and throw about 4 gallons of diesel fuel in here. I had some kerosene that I threw in there prior, maybe just hoping that it would clean out some of the fuel system, because these are the original fuel filters. I didn't mess with them. But it's passing through fuel. And the reason why I'm leaving this stuff alone is because honestly the tractor is not that dirty, and it looks like it just somebody put it up after the wheel got bent and just started using it for parts. 4,000 hours on a tractor like this, I don't really think is that much. It's kind of low hours, and I think this motor, once it starts cranking up and starts running, I think it'll do fine. Now I couldn't find no starting fluid, but I bought the next best thing, carbon choke and parts cleaner. So maybe it's a little less potent, but it actually might do better for this diesel. Maybe it can give it enough flammability to where it'll crank off, but not be so harsh on it like ether is. All right, let's see what we got here. Whoop. There we go. Oh, woo! Come on now. This thing ain't light. Oh God, hurry up. I think she's almost done. Are you almost done? Oh my gosh, am I sitting here holding an empty jug? Feels like something's still in there. No? It's out. Well, here's the nothing. I'm gonna go stand on the other side, get my carbon choke cleaner, and let's hope for the best. Spray a good healthy soaking of that. All right, here we go. Check my battery cable, make sure it ain't getting too hot. I don't feel like it is, so we're gonna keep going. bit more fuel. Might have to crack one of those lines up top again and see if we're still getting good fuel. I see a lot of leakage down here, so I don't know if we are or not. Try it again. Okay, that's not pulled out. That's pushed in. One of my lines is leaking. And I just need to know which one it is. Okay, I see which one it is. It's this one right here that was leaking before. Okay. All right. Maybe, just maybe, it won't do nothing to it. I'm gonna go get a wrench and I'm gonna open this bottom of this fuel filter up, see what comes out, and see if we can't get some fresh fuel going to this thing. Maybe. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Well, let's let that drain out, I guess. Maybe we can get some fresh fuel in there. Be okay. Let's try this again. We're gonna give it some serious throttleage this time. Maybe I just ain't got a strong enough battery. I do got a pretty weak battery, I feel like, but I don't know. I'm just going to let it sit here and charge up for 20 minutes. Let that starter rest, and we're going to try back on this thing again. See if we can't get her going. Alright guys, so I'm not mic'd up, so you probably can't hear me as well, but this is my last attempt to try to get this thing running. I've got Roscoe in his truck, and he's going to pull me down the road. I fixed them lines the best way I know how. They're still leaking a little bit. I don't even know if the timing's going to be right, but I do know this. I did get it to pop off a little bit using starting fluid yesterday. Reason why I didn't film it is just because I was so tired and fed up with it, and it just wasn't doing enough to me to, I guess, make it even seem worth filming it. But I did get it to pop off. I've come to the conclusion, after looking up videos on how these things start, that the starter is weak, and I don't think it has enough speed to turn over this motor. I put bigger battery cables. I put the bigger battery. I just think that starter is just burnt out. So I'm gonna put this thing in high third. We're gonna go down the road, hit the pavement, and I'm just gonna let this thing turn. And if there's any rings in there that's froze up or anything else that's froze up, maybe it'll cut it loose, maybe not. I don't know, we'll see. But I told Roscoe, I said, if you see me waving my arms and acting crazy, that he needs to stop, and I got it running. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to get to it. All right, here we go. I'm going to do my best at recording this. All right, stop. Started cutting too. Okay, go. It's cutting too early. All right, hold on. Hold on, go a little slower. Yeah, just go slow, okay? You might need to put it in four-wheel drive. That don't work. Then we might need to back up and go at it again. Yeah, we need to. You're gonna have to go back some more. All right, start it from there, ease on it, but then once you get going, give it some gas. Now go. Woo! Keep on going. Hey! All right. I didn't mean like that. But that's all right. Let's back up one more time. Now look, what I mean by it is not like giving it full throttle, but give it enough to where it'll gain speed but not spin. If you can do that. Don't spin. Keep on going. All right, slow down a little bit. Slow down. All right, keep on going. But just go slow. Go slow. Keep on going. Slow. Slow. All right, we're gonna keep on going, okay? But just try to take it a little bit slow. We're gonna go up to the church. too. Keep on going. I thought it was going. Okay. Well guys, it seemed like it wanted to fire. I think it just wasn't getting fuel like it needed to. I'm thinking that, you know, since this tractor was sitting for so long and it looked like somebody tried to take the injection pump off of it, that might be what the culprit is. And not only am I going to have to try to find the injection pump, but I'm going to have to try to find the lines too. So, hey, you win some and you lose some, and a big special thanks to Roscoe for coming out and helping me today. Like I said, this was my last leg on it, and we definitely tried to revive the old 62 Ferguson, and we're not done yet. I just don't know if I can find the fuel lines. I know I can find the injection pump, but it's a little bit of money, so we might have to put it on the back burner for a little while and start working on another project, or maybe I might put it up and sell it for parts and maybe try to get another one, who knows. But anyways, I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure you tune in next time, like, subscribe my videos, and we'll see y'all fellers later.